Got it. So welcome everyone. So this is an introduction to dynamic forms, one of the new features of Salesforce. My name's Steven Trumble, and then saasguru doing the hosting. So they're an online learning platform. So help anyone discover and grow their career in SaaS, but I guess more specifically to you, particularly in Salesforce with their online platform. So all about like supercharging skilling your cert prep with platform in the community. So they've got a big Slack community as well, where you can ask a lot of questions, and people like myself and other like SaaS gurus on there can respond to you as well. Sometimes it's a little bit quicker than going on Trailhead because you can tag people directly in there. And so all the certifications, or the programs you do, they're tailored for what you're doing, help summarize the content, because sometimes Trailhead, it can kind of lead you in lots of different paths, whereas this is just a little bit easy to follow, know what you should be doing next, and test yourself along the way with that. So with there, help you get certification vouchers, products, tips, updates, obviously live classes and webinars like this. Obviously this one's open to the community, but then there's others open just to people in saasguru. Then like I mentioned, the help on the community there. So the LinkedIn is just down the bottom here. And then just down the bottom, this will pop up a couple times, but if you are interested in any of the saasguru stuff, you can use the coupon code Steven, spelled with a B for Victor, Steven20, and then you get 20% off, just as a little thank you for attending tonight. There it is again, yeah. So on to tonight's presentation. So I work as a Salesforce consultant for Blue Engine Solutions. So Blue Engine Solutions is a boutique consultancy based in Washington, DC, United States. I'm got 7 certifications at the moment. Been awarded as a Trailblazer Community Answers Leader. And back in October, I launched a course on learning Salesforce formulas on Udemy, because there wasn't really anything out there else for it. And I kind of just thought it was a bit of a hole there, and there's lots of people struggling with formulas and things. So I just built a course, and it's been getting pretty good feedback so far. More than happy to connect with anyone on LinkedIn. Just send me a message why you're adding me. It just helps, because I get quite a few random people. And then like I talk about flows and formulas on LinkedIn. I got a basic website as well. And then if you prefer Trailblazer, you can follow me on there. I try and answer questions every day. So topic, what we'll run through today, just brief introduction. So a few more slides, just talking, the basics. What are dynamic forms, benefits, why you want to use them as opposed to the regular page layouts. And then the rest of the session will be more of sort of a live demo with, use case, how to create dynamic forms, and some like common examples of what you do with dynamic forms. So I don't think we'll need the whole hour at all today. So if you do have questions, feel free to ask throughout. I'll try to keep an eye on the chat as best I can. If there is anything there, let me know. So what are they? Basically, like at their simplest, they're an upgrade to using normal page layouts. So it will enable you to build a more flexible dynamic experience. So dynamic just means like it's responsive rather than just being a static page layout. Dynamic, it can change. So depending on who your user is, what they've done to the page, they can see different things. One of the big benefits, it allows you to break the record detail component, or what you'll know as the page layout, into individual fields and section components. So rather than everything just being in the one big chunk, how it is normally, you can split it up like this. So you can have sort of your details here, your system information there, and then you can have something over here. So it's almost like you've got 4 columns, as opposed to the page limitation where you've only got 2 columns. And then this big one here, allow visibility rules. So only the right people are seeing the right information at the right time. So you can get rid of a lot of that clutter, because if you're at the very first stage of the opportunity, you might not need to see all 100 opportunity custom fields you've built, but it's just as the opportunity progresses, then when you need that new information, then those fields can start appearing for your users. So the big benefit, it's just an instant upgrade. Like I said, put fields and sections wherever you want more easily. Simpler layout management. So you can do this all through the Lightning app builder without touching the page layout editor. So there might be times where you still want to use the page layout editor if you're dropping the whole detail page, but I'll try and explain sort of the differences between here as well. But kind of this point here is the big one, where you can reduce the number of page layouts and record types you need, hopefully with using good component visibility rules. So I've heard about people having 30 page layouts for a particular record because, you know, this profile needed this and then this person needed this, and it just like grew and grew and grew. And then it's so hard to know, you know, which page layout you need to edit. Testing becomes really difficult. So page, hopefully with dynamic forms, you can, you know, reduce that to only one or two different, you know, Lightning app pages, Lightning record pages. And then another important one, the performance page load time. Obviously, if you're loading less things, it's going to be quicker for the system. So once again, as your records expand, if you've got really complicated object records, you want to, you know, only load up what's the really essential stuff to begin. And then if a user needs to click through, then you can load up the rest of the fields there. So just a couple considerations about it. So it's not currently supported for mobile, but Salesforce has said they're aiming for September 2023. So what's that, another 7 months from now? And then, so at the moment, we've got this, I'll show this later as well, this record detail mobile component. And so this will just use whatever your standard page layout is. So at the moment, you know, you can't completely ignore page layouts if your organization uses mobile. If they don't use mobile, then you probably can start ignoring page layouts. And then records created by a lookup, they're going to use your page layout. So, you know, if you know, you're on an opportunity and then you want to click in, you know, who the primary contact is, and that little lookup pops up. So that's going to be your page layout. That won't be your Lightning record page. So that'll be the other use case where page layouts are still important until hopefully September. And then which objects can use them? So any custom object in your org is fine. Just recently, so just in winter, so this is why they're getting a bit more traction now, because now accounts and contacts and opportunities can start using dynamic forms. So they're, you know, most places going to be your 3 biggest objects. And then until, you know, a few months ago, we couldn't do anything with them. But now it's come good. And then from spring, lead and case should have the option for dynamic forms as well. I think lead initially was meant to be like the next summer release, but they brought it forward. It might have been case, but anyway, there's a lot of demand. So yeah, if you're struggling, I got caught out a few weeks ago. I was trying to do a case and then reading the documentation. Not ready yet, but yeah, nearly every object is available now. So this is just some of what we're going to run through now. Haven't seen any questions yet, so yeah, feel free if I'm talking too quick or my accent's a bit challenging for you. I'll try and pronounce it a different way. So yeah, just converting an existing page layout, which will take only a few seconds, and then we'll start thinking about the performance benefits, what we can change around, and then some conditional visibility, a couple of different use cases. Okay, so we'll start with opportunity record, just because I know there's a lot of good things you should do there, and hopefully most people are pretty familiar with opportunities. So at the moment, you know, when you go to the details page, so this is just your standard page layout. And then, you know, within, we've got the related stuff on the side, but this is just, you know, a static page based on your page layout, nothing too exciting. So to change this to a dynamic form, there's a couple of ways you can do it. What I find is the easiest way is you just go up to the cog and then edit page. And this will take you to the Lightning record page, which is under the Lightning app builder. And it'll load up. And then the other way to get here is from within setup, you just search for Lightning app builder. And then under user interface, Lightning app builder. And so this is a brand new developer org I made. So we've got no Lightning pages at the moment, but we could press new here as well. And then we'll get into the builder. Same way. So yeah, and then so from here you can choose if you want an app, a home, a record page, but we'll just come back to where we were through the opportunity. So to convert, step one, if you come back to your details tab, so where we've got that page layout, and then if you click into the page layout, you get a nice shiny button over here in the top right. So you can configure this, upgrade to dynamic forms. Start putting individual fields and sections. Click, and then it'll just tell you what you want to do. So you see what I've spent the last 5-10 minutes explaining. You can break up the monolithic blog. Next. And then from here, you want to pick which layout you want to migrate across, sort of as your template where we'll start from. So we're going to use the opportunity layout. And then this bit here as well is good to read. Hopefully, I'll try to zoom in a little. So what it's saying here is that, do you want to migrate your fields and sections into an accordion component to improve page performance? And then so on a page with lots and lots of fields, this is more important, because this is a brand new dev org, not nearly as necessary, but we'll do it anyway, because who doesn't want to improve page load time? So we'll give that one a big tick as well and finish. And that's the presentation. That's all you need to do. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And so what the accordion is if you see here, we've got the opportunity information, which has come up the top. And then we've got this additional fields, and then that's collapsed. So what will happen now is when a user goes into this record page, Salesforce will just, spend performance effort to load up this opportunity information section. And then when a user says, actually, the field I need is missing, it must be an additional, and they open that up, then it'll send a new message across, and then Salesforce will now try and load up this field. Whereas before, on a page layout, Salesforce is trying to load up all 50 fields at once, rather than the first 25 and the next 25. So obviously you're going to get a performance improvement there. Yeah, so from here, so this is from the Lightning App Builder in Setup, and then so you get the option here of what type of Lightning page you want to do. So an app page, a home page, or what we're working on is a record page or opportunity record. So we'll do the same thing here. Opportunity from Lightning. And then so just pick your object. And then here's where you can choose like the different layout that you want, or you can just clone an existing one as well. So Salesforce is, gonna keep some of the nice things for you, I guess, as well, so you don't have to completely start from scratch. This is, I guess, the closest to what we've got here. Oh no, sorry, I'm getting, oh yeah, so we've got the header region and big section on the left, and then the right sidebar. So if we come back to our new one, so the header and the right sidebar is like this. So we can go finish. And then, so I guess when you do this though, you'll see, it is completely from scratch, which can be good, but then you've got to, start adding in all these components, which I think maybe just for the purpose of today's demo might not do, because it'll sort of chew up a bit of time, but you'll see like we back on the other record, I will show you how some of these work as well. But I was going to talk about was modifying the layout through performance. So the accordion is one way that we've done that to improve performance. The other option is if we come back into the top here, we can add in a new tab. So we've got activity, details, chatter. But I could always go add tab, and you can click on it. And if you scroll to the very top, when this loads, you have this custom option. So there's, list of standard ones. Well, we're going to go custom, and we'll call this the additional details. Then, I know it's a little bit finicky, but you kind of got to click out, and then you can click done. So, yeah, not the best user experience. Okay, so we've got our details tab. Lost all my save work, there it is. And then so rather than having the additional fields there, we can move these fields, just drag and put it into this section there. And so it's the same idea, there's nothing in that one. But then, you can have, once again, when Salesforce is loading each page, it won't be trying to load all these fields until you click on this sub tab. So you can save your, processing there as well. So you can move everything around however you like. And so when you're dragging and dropping, it's a little bit hard to see, but sort of just underneath where that grab hand is, if you see there's a darker green line, that's what you need to look for. So when I'm, here, it's not going to go anywhere. And then you just got to wait till you see that dark green line, and then you can drop in the information that you want. So another hot tip, not so much for your users, more for you as the admin who'll be doing this. You might notice it's a little bit kind of buggy as I'm going. It's not because I've got bad internet. It's just Lightning App Builder is like that. One thing I've noticed helps a lot is in this help menu. If you click up the top here, and then if you click mute tips, usually that'll improve the performance a lot when I'm having to drag and drop things, move them around. So if you are finding it's really kind of clunky and you're struggling to move stuff, just test out if that works for you as well. So just help mute tips. Okay, so this is saying when we're trying to save that like a required field missing on the page layout. And then so from here, what we can do, I'll save it anyway, is in the fields, you see we've got this universally required field section. And then just because I've done this so many times, I know that what's missing is the forecast category. And so hopefully this time now when we save, we won't get that. But that'll just sort of help you, if you've got rules in the background that this is a required field, and then you're trying to build a page for someone and they can't put the required field in, so they can't save, if you're seeing that alert, yeah, don't ignore it, depending on, what validation rules and things are going. Conditional visibility, so how you can show and hide fields depending on what's happening. So run through a few different examples together. So the first one is, if we could create a loss reason custom field, and then we only want that to show if the stage is closed lost, because if you haven't lost it, why do you need this field taking up space and annoying your users? So first thing, we'll just create this field nice and quickly. So if you are playing along at home, just in the opportunity, and I'll create a new text field. We'll do 255 maximum length. Next, and then keep it visible for everyone, just the defaults. And then so here, just be aware that this is only going to add it to the page layout. But as we spoke about before, this opportunity record page no longer is the same as your page layout. So I can add it in here, but that's not going to put it on my Lightning record page. So from here, I'm not sure. I think I'll have to do a refresh. Yeah. So just refresh this page, and then hopefully it should become visible. Okay, so here's my loss reason description. So yeah, this is another thing which I'll do for a lot. So when you just click like generally in this component, so your breadcrumbs look like page, then tabs. Here you can set your default tab, and then I don't know whoever wants activity as the default, because I never want that. So I always change this to details. And then yeah, you can change the order as well if you want this up the top. But I generally find that's a lot more useful. And then, so this is the loss reason, it's related to the stage. So probably the most likely place we want it is directly underneath the stage. And then here, so how you make something visible or not visible is with the filter. So this is where we'll spend, I guess, most of the rest of the session together. And so we're going to add this filter, and then you can either just go by record field or advanced. And so the criteria we said, when the stage equals close loss, we want to see loss reason. So the field will be stage. And so this will show you the label, not the API. And then equal to, and then get rid of prospecting. And whoops, scroll down until we get close lost, and then done. And then so we could add in, if you needed more filters, and then you can do, any filters are true, all filters are true, custom logic is met. So just like you would on a report or a list view, you've got those same options there, but we only need the one at the moment. So we'll save this. And then any guesses, if I press the back button now, what am I going to see on the opportunity record page? So here, my activity is still the default, even though we changed it. And then on details, yeah, exactly. Didn't activate it. Good pickup. So yeah, so you will at some point potentially make this mistake I've just done here, where you haven't activated the page. And so right now we're looking at the page layout, not the lightning record page, because we haven't activated it. So we'll go back, edit the page again. Okay, and then so activate this page to make it visible. Oh, it didn't save my changes. That's all right. We will. Oh, okay. So here, it's loaded me into a brand new developer name one. So we can come back to our setup. I'll just show you what this looks like, why sort of nothing saved. Just so don't worry, you don't have to see me do everything again. We come back to the Lightning App Builder and setup. So this is what we were working on, this opportunity record page, the original. And then when I just kind of tried to reopen it, it created a brand new one. So we come back into the first one we built, edit. And then I'll open up that Dickinson opportunity again. And so this time now we can see, got those extra tabs, so that additional details tab we created. And then you'll see like the section headers look a little bit different as well. There's another way to show you on a Lightning record page. And then, so this is where, that additional fields, that accordion section. So if I open this up, then it'll collapse those original fields. So you can, without having to scroll too much, often you can kind of have a more compact layout, which can be nice. And then, so if we look here, we've got the stage, and then the next field underneath that is probability, because we're in qualification. But if we move this up to close lost, you'll see loss reason description now becomes visible. And then down the bottom as well, you'll see this little eye pops up. And if you click on that, it'll say the following fields were added to the record. And now if I change this to something else, the following fields were removed. So once you start adding more and more conditional visibility rules, this little information bubble can be really useful just to know, what's appeared, what's disappeared throughout the journey. So let's move this to close loss and say outbid by competitor, something like that. Save. So pretty handy, pretty cool one there. See this in a lot of orgs, they'll have something like this, or they might have a validation rule as well, that if it's closed loss, you need to have a loss reason. So similar to this, we can talk about the tracking number when the deliveries or installation is in progress or complete. So this one we were just saying only on close loss, and now we're going to look at a couple different fields. So we'll add in, start using more filter criteria. And then, so this should be in additional details. So this is your delivery installation status. And so you're not going to have a tracking number at the start, when this, before it's been delivered at all, or, yet to begin, you wouldn't have a tracking number. But then if it's in progress, that's when, you might have a tracking number to, like what's being sent out to the client. So once again, if we haven't got to this stage, why do I need this clogging up space on the record? So good use case to hide that. And so now if we do the edit page, so Maria, I think this will answer your question. Now, because I'm on a Lightning record page, this will open up the same one. It won't create a new record page at this point. So if we see here, the page that's loaded is this original opportunity record page. So you can check the developer name there. And then, yeah, I didn't mention, but so this orange eye, that's your, cue, the symbol that there's component visibility going on, or filter visibility. So if we come into additional details, we'll say we only want to see the tracking number, add filter when the delivery installation is equal to in progress, or delivery installation is equal to completed. Oops. Done. And then if we leave it like this, all filters are true, it'll never show up because the pick list, couldn't meet both of these criteria. So if any filters are true, save that. And then we can test this again. So this any filters are true is like using an or statement. All filters is like using an and statement. Okay, so loading up details is my default. So we'll come across to additional details. So now, this has become more compact because we're not seeing this tracking number field. And if we bring this across the in progress or completed, it'll stay there. It's yet to begin, should disappear again. Any queries on this example? All right, we'll keep moving on then. Yeah, I guess this is pretty similar as well. So the order number to stage equals close one. So what we might do is we'll skip that one because it's, very similar to this. But I guess this is just trying to show you, I guess, what am I trying to say? That like with here, yeah, I mean, you can reference the same field like in multiple ways. And then, so like loss reason is looking at the stage and order number is looking at the stage. So it's not like only one field can reference one other field. You can have multiple. But so this next one, so only a system admin can see the system information section. So in your record, yeah, I've got this, a lot of people really need, like who created it, who last modified it. So we can do an entire section at once rather than just an individual field. So if we come back into edit page. Okay, so additional details. And then so before, I was clicking on the field itself and going add filter. But if you move your mouse until you get the blue box around the entire section, then for this label system information, then we can add a filter. And so at the moment we're talking about a profile of system admin. So this is where we don't want record, we don't want device either, because we're not worried about desktop and mobile. So this is where we go into the advanced section. And so from here, you can go select, and you get a drop down where we can say user. And then within the user, we want the profile. and then name, done, and then basically contains equal not equal to. So we're going to say if it equals system administrator. Hopefully I spelled that correctly. All right, and then so we'll get this orange eye over the whole section. And so we'll save this again. Oh yeah, so once you've activated the page once, you don't need to keep hitting this activation. You just need to do the save afterwards. But yeah, the very first time you want it is when you have to go through that activation process. All right, next slide. So what I wanted to mention here is there's a little difference between how fields and how sections are assessed. So when I was going through and I was showing you, I changed something to close lost, the stage to close lost, or I changed the deliverability to, in progress or complete, the field became visible or it hid dynamically, like in front of your eyes. We've got that little eye saying, this field's now visible, this field's now hidden. So fields are dynamically done, whereas a field section happens after page save. So if you have that big rule here, if I had this additional information is only visible, when amount equals 100, stage equals close lost, that won't take effect until I've hit the save button on the record. Okay, so if you are trying to do your testing, I got caught out with this. I was trying to build this really nice layout with all these responses. And then unfortunately, I couldn't do it by section. So then I had to go, each field within the section, I had to put on the, copy the same rule over and over on every field. So yeah, just wanted to flag that because it took me, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out, do all this testing. Why wasn't it working? Why wasn't it working? Then finally found in the fine print that field sections are not dynamic. So be aware of that. And then, so I guess a couple limitations which you should be aware of as well is, as we saw, it's like you can't use a formula currently. I think there's rumors that they might bring this functionality in at the moment, in the future, sorry. But, all you can do is just add a filter and then you choose, based on the record field, device, advanced, and then you can do your and or your or statements, but you can't build something, if this is blank and then this is that and this is that. And then the other thing to consider as well is that you can't compare a field to a dynamic value. And so what I mean by that is, so I'll use the amount field just for this demonstration, but it'd probably be more realistic, with a commission on an opportunity, like something which you may want hidden only for certain users. And then, so you might have the use case that, the commission should only be visible if the logged in user, so the person looking at the page, is equal to the opportunity owner. And so there's no way you can do that directly with the page layout, but you can do a workaround by creating a formula field to check this condition, and then your filter will look at the formula field. So I know that might be a little bit to try and wrap your head around, but we'll work through it. So we're going to use the amount, and so I only want the amount visible if the logged in person equals the opportunity owner. So to do that, we head back to Object Manager. So we'll create a new formula field for this one. And then what we're going to return is just a true or a false, because it's either the running user equals the opportunity owner or they don't. So there's only two outcomes for this. So for that, we can just use a checkbox. And then I'm just going to call it running user. Ooh, hit the wrong button. Running user. And it goes as a checkbox. And then here, so you need to be in the advanced formula tab for this one. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do insert field. We're going to look at this $user. And so this is, kind of your dynamic variable of which user is logged in right now. And so you want to look at their ID number. So look up to the user.id will be the API name. And we want to see if that is equal to insert field. So within the opportunity. And then we want to look at the opportunity owner. And then again, the user ID there. So the owner.id. So there's no need to put this in an if statement, do this true, false. That'll work as well, but it's just unnecessary. So all the formula needs to be is just $user ID equals the owner ID. So we can check that. And so that's going to return either a true or a false. And so if we can go next, and then we'll save that one. And then so we'll come back to our opportunity record page. So I'll need to refresh this just so we can have that field become visible. Actually, we don't even need it to be visible on the page layout. We just need to reference it. But I might put it on the page layout because it might help the understanding a little bit more. But like in actual practice, this is just system admin magic happening in the background. So we'll say fields, I'm going to call it running user. Okay, and then so for the amount, it should be visible if my running user is equal to true. So let's save that. Okay, so at the moment, so this is returning true because Steven Trumble is equal to the person who's logged in, because I'm logged in as Steven Trumble. But if and so I can see the amount field, but if we go back and we log in as Luke, then now, so my running user is false because Luke is not Steven. And so now the amount's disappeared. So, you wouldn't really do this in the amount field because normally amount is important. But yeah, something like commission, something which might be private, if you get an opportunity teams, but only the big opportunity owner, the big boss is gonna, get like their 5% commission and someone else to get 2% commission or something, you might want to hide information like that. So this is, kind of a workaround where it can be a little bit janky, but yeah, you can create a formula field and reference the formula field to these dynamic values. More kind of more advanced use case, but just be aware is